All right. Shalom, Makim. Shalom. It's your brother Amawan Ariello with the GMS Miami Heroes Camp. And before we begin, I definitely want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rachah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops, a great millstone, who do well. Peace and salutations to Akim doing the work in truth and in sincerity across the four corners of the earth. And real quick, just wanted to roll through the spirit, all right, and talk about what's going on. You know, probably bring out a couple articles in regards to what Esau Edom is doing and how much closer we are towards the end, okay? And we're very, very, very close, man. A lot of things are going on the earth, especially when you talk about, the building of a lot of these AI data centers. As a matter of fact, I have a article here, right? And we brought this out in camp earlier today. It says Trump hails a $90 billion in AI infrastructure investments at the Pennsylvania summit. Trump administration's official says winning the artificial intelligence race with China is a top priority. All right, it goes on to read. It says President Trump visited Pittsburgh on Tuesday to praise companies for investing $90 billion, okay, in data centers and other energy projects in Pennsylvania, all right, aimed at accelerating the development of artificial intelligence. Now, why is the artificial intelligence so important, all right, to Esau? Okay, it's because, that infrastructure is going to help push the MOTB, man. All right, it's going to help push the mark of the beast. Okay, they want to be able to, track, identify, okay, and to be able to, pretty much turn this country into a totalitarian state. Okay, and let's look up that word totalitarian. All right. Because the whole thing is, man, he wants to be able to track you. He wants to know what you're doing, because the moment you speak against Esau and you start saying things that are not, aligned with what he's trying to do, he wants to cut you off. All right. He wants to be able to incarcerate you. All right. He wants to be able to control you. At the end of the day, Esau wants to be like the Most High God, pretty much. He wants to be like Yahweh Shai. Okay. Totalitarian. All right. When you look into that word totalitarianism, it says is a form of government that exercises absolute dictatorial control over all aspects of public and private life, permitting no political opposition or individual freedom. So Esau Edom wants to take away your freedoms, man. And he wants to be able to control the narrative. He wants to be able to control you. All right. These regimes use surveillance, terror, and propaganda to maintain power, enforcing total subordination of the citizen to the state. Okay? So it says the key characteristics of a totalitarian system includes total control. All right? The state seeks to regulate all aspects of life, including economy, education, art, and media. All right? One-party rule. Only one political party is allowed, often led by a dictator, prohibiting any opposition. And we heard Trump saying he wants to run for a third term, and that's never been something that was done in the American history. Every president has either served 1 to 2 terms. It's never been more than that. Okay, but this devil, man, he wants to be able to control the narrative. He wants to be able, to do what he wants to do and put the people under subjection. All right. Going on, it says, ideological control. The regime enforces a mandatory state ideology or moral code. All right, widespread use of police, surveillance, and terror to enforce conformity and suppress dissent. Historical examples include Nazi Germany under Hitler, the Soviet Union under Stalin, and North Korea. All right, and not too long ago, Trump said that, he kind of liked the way that China was handling, their credit score system. Okay? You do something that the government doesn't like, they strip certain rights from you. You can't take the bus, you can't, buy certain foods. All right? You can't do a lot of different things, man. You have to be able to be under their total control. If you don't go or follow what they want you to do, man, they strip away your so-called rights. And right now, as it stands, America has this thing called a Constitution. Yo, Trump doesn't respect the Constitution. He says he does whatever he wants based on his own moral code. And he has no real morals, man. All right, we know that what's going on with the whole, Epstein files and shit like that. Yo, things are being revealed, man. The Lord is stripping him bare. Matter of fact, let me grab a precept real quick. All right, it's the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, starting at 15. It says, "Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that puttest thy bottle to him, and makest him drunk also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness." Right? And Esau has done that to us, especially when we talk about the so-called Native American, man. All right, it says, "Thou art filled with shame for glory." Like Esau, your glory is shame, man. You have obtained this land through rape, rob, and murder, man. All right, you've never kept any of the treaties or agreements that you made with the people of the land. All right, and all you do is kill, man, and covet things that don't belong to you. Covet fields and resources, man. That's a shame, but yet you call it glory. We know that whole thing in Venezuela, man. That shit is a shame, man. You went into a whole other nation. All right, you took their president captive and took control of their resources, man. Okay. It says, "Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be thy glory." Right? All right? The Lord's going to turn Esau's glory into shame, man. Everything he's trying to do, everything he's trying to push out is going to turn into pure shame. These other nations are looking at America as if America is the cause and the reason for a lot of the fucking turmoil that's on the earth today. All right? And they're taking their orders from those small hatters, the JOOs, man. They really run America. Through their money, through their media, and they control the people through their music. All right? And all the other bullshit that's here in America, man. All right, but the Lord says that he's going to deal with Esau accordingly. So going back to this, remember totalitarianism. Okay, real quick. Okay, so he wants to build an AI infrastructure and invest $90 billion, man. So many people are suffering here in this country. A lot of the world's problems could have been solved with that $90 billion. But what does he want to do? He wants to be able to invest that money so he can control the population. So he can be a dictator to these people. And if you don't think that what's happening in China and North Korea and all these other places won't happen here in America, think again. It's going to definitely happen. As a matter of fact, I got an article to back that up. All right, this article is from Politics and Democracy. And Lord willing, I could put these links in the description box so you can read it for yourself. It says, the growing surveillance state in the U.S. is far worse than you imagined. Through court battles, legal loopholes, executive orders, and shady contracts, the Trump administration preempts legal challenges and crushes the safeguards protecting privacy rights, due process. Okay? So Esau's taking away your rights, man. Your freedoms, your liberties. President Donald Trump is taking decisive steps to crush administrative safeguards and preempt legal challenges, allowing his administration to rapidly consolidate a surveillance state with diminished privacy rights. Aided by recent Supreme Court decisions, Republican lawmakers and quickly eroding due process rights, the administration is ensuring that data and sensitive information of each person in the U.S. can be used against them. Meaning what? You go online and you post a comment that is not savory, all right, to the government, or if you're speaking against the government and the ruler, whether it be the president or a senator or a mayor, they're coming after you, man. All right, and what we do, we go out in the highways week in and week out and we talk against this devil, man. So you already know the famine of the word is coming too. Okay, they're looking to stop all that negative, They want control, man. They want to control the narrative. And the best way to do that is to strip away your rights, your so-called rights, because really you don't have any rights, man. All right, it says to achieve this, the administration has been working diligently to interconnect the data hosted by all levels of government, including democratic states and local law enforcement agencies, while also contesting lawsuits for privacy violations in courts across the country. In some instances, the administration appears to be violating federal private regulations, and it's already divulging sensitive data. Medicare and Medicaid handed over personal data of millions of enrollees in sanctuary states and cities, including California, Washington State, Illinois, and Washington, D.C., to the Department of Homeland Security, which also struck a deal with the Internal Revenue Service to access addresses of taxpayers, many of whom are undocumented immigrants who pay billions of dollars in taxes each year. And a lot of these immigrants are Jakes, man. Okay? Real quick, let me grab a scripture. This is the book of Isaiah 13. It says, starting at verse 6, Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore all hands shall Salakia. It says, therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. Why? Why is every man's heart going to melt? The heart is the mind. Why is every man going to faint? Because the Lord is coming to put an end to this fucking shit, man. And they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them, and they shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed at one another. Their faces shall be as flames. This is going into the destruction of Babylon. Okay, but before that comes, all right, everyone, everyone on this planet is going to feel some type of distress. Okay, they're going to feel like they can't do anything about what's happening. All right, but this has been prophesied, man. The Lord said that He's going to come in and fuck this place up. Okay, mainly due to the fact that Esau, Edom, he knows that he has but a short time. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find that. Revelations 12:12, therefore rejoice, you heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he has but a short time. Esau knows that he has but a short time. So what is he going to do? He's going to push his agenda. Okay, but nevertheless, he's not going to be able to accomplish his agenda. All right, because when you read the book of Job, chapter 20, okay, in 22, it says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, Salakia. Really, the whole Job 20, really, it breaks down Esau, man, and what the Lord's going to do to him. All right, but I'll start at verse 4. It says, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite is but for a moment. Esau has but a short time, man, to fulfill his NWO. Okay? Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? Okay, skipping down to verse 22, it says, in the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. So when he thinks he's about to go ahead and accomplish his new world order and activate the chip, the Lord's going to come in and fuck this place up. Okay? Through thorough nuclear destruction. All right? Go ahead and grab this other article real quick. Right? It says the growing surveillance state in the U.S. is far worse than you imagine. But didn't we read that? That was the definition of totalitarianism. Salakia. All right? Totalitarianism. All right? It says what? Total control. All right? Exercises absolute dictatorial control over all aspects of public and private life. And this is how we know we're going to, the microchip is going to be, the MOTB is going to be introduced through what he's currently doing. Because remember what it says in Revelation 13:16. All right, it says he causes all, both small and great, to receive the mark. And that word cause, when you go into it, it goes into make ready. Okay, he's making ready. He's laying down the infrastructure for the mark, man. And it's plain. It's plain. Okay? So, we're just out here trying to prepare our people for what's about to come. Going back to Isaiah 13. Okay? In verse 8 it says, first start verse 9, it says, behold, the day of the Lord cometh cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. Okay? It says in verse 10, for the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light, the sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. And that's what the Lord is about to do, man. Esau is very prideful, thinking that he can, do these different things, set up AI infrastructure, and, create surveillance, a surveillance system to where they can actually detect and, because a part of surveillance is knowing where the hell you're at all times. And what better way to know where you're at and what you're doing, what you're thinking, by implanting a what do you call that? An NFC chip, all right, a near frequency chip inside of you, a radio frequency chip, like like a product, like you're some type of product to be tagged and traced. And a lot of our people, they're going to take that mark because they want to be able to still function in society. But the thing is, if you don't take that mark, you can't do shit in this society. Nothing. You can't pay rent. You can't buy food. You can't buy clothes. And this is why the Lord says, in that day, we're going to be as pilgrims in the land, man. We're going to be like, going from place to place. But the Lord said that he's going to watch over us. He's going to protect us. He's going to make sure we eat. We're going to drink. All right, some of us may be thrown into prison. Some of us may be interrogated. Because they want to know, what's next. What is the Lord going to do next? Because they've tried to figure out what their outcome is, and they know it. They know that their end result is slavery. Their end result is that they lose. This is why they're building those bunkers in other nations, because they know America's going to be destroyed. They know it deep down inside. All right, those bunkers are a contingent plan in case what they're trying to do doesn't work. He's looked into the future. He knows what's about to happen. All right, he has his prognosticators, his astrologers looking at the stars, talking to spirits, looking through stargates, so on and so forth. So he knows, man. He knows his time is short. So what is he going to do? He's going to bring that thunder. Let me see if I can get this precept. This is how we know the Lord is going to give us supernatural power, because we won't be able to stand against this devil on our own. Okay? So the book of Isaiah 59:19 says, so shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. Right? And that word standard goes into spiritual, supernatural power, man. All right, Yahushua had supernatural power, and didn't he say that we were going to be able to do greater things than he did? Yahushua was able to disappear through a whole crowd, man. He would slip through a whole crowd of people who were trying to, put their hands on him. How much more his men that's out there doing the work, warning the people, when they're being persecuted. Okay, so, what we're doing, we're measuring the time diligently within itself, and we're bringing out this information so that you can be prepared, right? The elect. So the elect can be prepared for what's about to happen. Because Jeremiah 30:7 is right around the corner. Fuck that. Jeremiah 30:7 is here now. It's here now. Who is ICE coming after? ICE is coming after our own people, the Northern Tribe, and pretty soon they're going to be going in Ohio looking for the Haitians, the Zos. I think they said there was over 12,000 or 20,000 Haitians in Ohio right now. I was watching a meme on TikTok talking about how America's going to be after 100 million immigrants are deported. There's not that many immigrants here in America, man. So really, they want to get rid of Jake. But we make up this whole society. We're your cooks, we're your landscapers, we're your nannies, we're your service workers, your plumbers, your construction workers. Without us, man, this nation would be nothing. You know? But hey, look, we telling you, Esau, yo, come on with it, man. Come with the bullshit. All right, stop lollygagging and do what you got to do. Okay, so with that, I hope this was edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. So with that, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem Chachodash, Shalom.